And we're back, with some more oxygen not included. Now, I know I said I'd skip a bunch of this stuff, but there's something interesting I'd like to demonstrate. Right here we have a lump of refined carbon, 1,745 kgs. Right behind it we have a tile, a temp shift plate tile that we're making out of 800 kgs of coal. Coal, not refined carbon. Now, once that temp shift plate gets created, and the save finishes, you'll notice that that temp shift plate back there is pretty toasty. It's 253, but it's immediately exchanging temperature with all the stuff around it, and that 800 kgs of coal is going to mutate into refined carbon. But it absorbed the debris that was on the ground, and it's 2,545 kilos in total. 800 kilos combined with the stuff on the ground. So we were able to make that super quick, and that allows us to put that power wire through there. That saved us a whole bunch of effort. I thought it was... yeah, never mind. That was just what I wanted to demonstrate. Now, give me a minute while I finish this off. It is complete. There's just so many moving parts that goes into one of these. You keep forgetting, like, just the sheer quantity of layers. It's like, oh yeah, we got to do the power, but you also have to do the plumbing, then you also have to do the gas piping, which is actually not that painful just yet. A little bit of decor, of course, to make sure everyone's happy. Oh, room overlays. Yeah, that's still not finished. How have I messed up the rooms? This should be a great hall. Missing decor item. Oh yeah, that we can sort out pretty quick. However, no. Time to start up the reactor. The reactor needs to be brought online so we can start heating the sucker up. We flick that switch. It turns that green. This turns on and picks up the enriched uranium. Enriched uranium goes into the reactor. Reactor is getting fed water. Oh. Reactor is getting fed water by this pump, which I turned off the power to because I wanted to... 1 second. There we go. Yeah, that's the one that feeds it. I wanted to not have that large power transformer overheating. It was in a vacuum, you see. So we need some steam in there pretty soon. Come on. Get it down there. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Oh, and as well as that, we will sever the return line here. We want to just fill the system, put water, so we don't want the return line dumping any water in. The return line can just dump water down here and, get your... What's that? Stop wobbling. Don't be doing the wobbling. That I really do not like. I do not like that in the slightest. We have a blob of carbon dioxide and a blob of oxygen here. The whole point of those is the nuclear waste falls down here, and then it flies, the liquid pours past these two, then can't get back up. If either of those blobs move, we're in trouble. That's trouble. No? We're good again? That was not good. That was not great. Because the carbon dioxide there, we've lost 70 grams of carbon dioxide. Where it's gone, nobody knows. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, I think I know what is happening here. The airflow tiles were below the liquefaction point, or it basically caused the water to turn back, or the steam to turn back into water. So the water shunted to the left. It ended up inside here. That was what was causing to wobble. We should have preheated the airflow tiles, though I'm not exactly sure how you're going to preheat airflow. You know what? Doesn't matter. We managed to get over the hump. I'm just going to... there's where the carbon dioxide went. It got shunted down in here. You know what? You're safe down there. Yep, just stay there. Just stay there. It's fine. It's only mildly annoying. Up here, all of these are going. They're flowing around. This is spitting out water. Water's getting dumped back in there. And you can be turned to, say, 30 degrees. The temperature is above 30 degrees. Yep, you should turn on. Perfect. Oh, and this refined carbon is going to start cooling down now. It was 300 degrees at the start of this. Okay. Everything seems to be functioning. Temperature-wise, the steam turbines are... well, yeah, they're going to run hot. But that's fine. We were kind of anticipating them running hot because we're using the conduction panels instead of cooling oil. But yeah, we'll worry about that later. Let's let this spin up for a bit, make sure all the power is running, and then we're going to completely sort out this whole system. I forgot to finish the power wires, because of course I did. I never put the power wires all the way to the end for the last two transformers, and we can't really run anyone in there now because it's a little bit toasty. I mean, we could probably run them in there for a few seconds. That seems kind of risky, though. You know what? Let's give them a shot. Why not? We can let them have a go. Oh, there's some visco gel over here. And let's make sure that doesn't cause any problems. Oof. Yeah, that viscogel should slowly heat up. I'm just worried that if some steam interacts with that viscogel, it'll turn into liquid, and then, or the steam will turn into water, and then it will cause that blob to shift. That would be bad. Doesn't seem to have happened yet, though. I'm not seeing that go up in temperature. Yeah, anyway, let's let some duplicants in here and see how badly irradiated they get. We've got some anti-rad pills. They'll be fine, probably. 82 rads. 86. Yeah, they were getting... They started with almost no rads, so that was a little hot, but didn't have to do anything else. Perfect. Alright, system's warming up. Once that viscogel hits about 100 degrees, I'll be much happier, but that might take a few minutes. And we want this to go all the way to the end as well. We'd like this whole system to be preheated. Temperatures in here are... the refined carbon will cool down. Everything in here will cool down in time. Let's just check to make sure I didn't miss any tiles to brick in. Nope, I think we're good. I think we're going to leave this on. I had already turned off the automation signal here when I turned it on at the start and then immediately turned it off so we wouldn't top up on any more uranium. And this thing has chewed through quite a bit of it, but I think we're just going to leave it on. Everything seems to have stabilized, though I'm noticing something odd. If we go back to our original rocket, the steam temperature in here is below 200 degrees. Like, quite substantially. Like, it's 170 down there. Like, did they nerf nuclear reactors or research reactors? Because I'm not seeing nearly as much temperature as I'm used to. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the nuclear waste is causing a problem because there's so much of it, it's messing with the temperatures. Could be that, but this place is not getting close to the 200 degrees it needs to be, and this place down here is way cooler than it should be. Oh well, not going to worry about it. For now, we're going to boot this system up, and I'm pretty sure I made a mistake somewhere. Why are one of you not hooked up? Come on, one of you's... How are you not configured? Power wire. Yep, that's what got me. Yeah, power wire up to there. Alright, let's go through this magnificent beauty that will only be around for a very short period before we then crash it into a temporal tear. But, yeah, as I was putting the finishing touches on this, I thought, why am I putting this much time and effort into something that we're literally just going to get rid of? It's designed to last for thousands of cycles, but we're going to dispose of it. The girlfriend said, yep, that's something that sounds like something you would totally do. And I had to admit she was right on that front. I'm an idiot. Okay, but this beautiful piece of mechanical engineering is configured as so. Right now, we have water coming in through here. So this water is filling up our water tank. This thing needs to have a good stockpile of water so that it can provide oxygen to everything. That water's coming in at a reasonable temperature. That's 25-degree water. It is coming in from outside the rocket. If we trace that flow of water, it's all the way down here, all the way across here, and it's coming from this tank of water. This tank of water is recycled petroleum. Well, recycled petroleum waste, so to speak. We have, oh god, down here we have some oil wells. These oil wells spit out the crude oil. The crude oil then gets sent all the way over to our petroleum boiler over here. So it boils up the crude oil to petroleum. The petroleum then gets sent, well, one second, all the way through here, all the way back up to our industrial sauna. Our industrial sauna burns off the petroleum. Now, the petroleum gives off a whole bunch of polluted water. The polluted water falls down here, flashes immediately to steam, and fills up this room with its precious gas. This gas then sort of floats up here to the top, and once it goes above 20 kilos of pressure in here, we have to evacuate the extra pressure. This steam turbine turns on. Anyone? Wow, we're actually down to 15 kilos. I don't know how the pressure got that low. It shouldn't be possible. You know what? Who cares? Anyway, when this turns on, it siphons out water out of the system. Oh, this thing's still siphoning water. You know what? Let's sever your connection for the time being, shall we? There we go. Yeah, I remember now. I made a whole bunch of changes over here because of... never mind. Long story short, that water gets siphoned out here, gets sent all the way up and around and dumped in here. And we've been doing that for a long while. A very long while, which is why we've got so much water. Problem is, it's all about 90 degrees and such. Well, there was actually an ice biome here we poured it on top of, so it chilled out a little bit. And the water was up to about here when we started drawing out of it, so we've already managed to suck out this much water and dump it into the rocket. Fortunately, it's too hot, so instead of just dumping it directly in, we pipe it over here and send it through 3 aqua tuners, because we've got the power to burn and we don't care. So it comes in here at 72 degrees, leaves at 30 degrees. It was actually a little bit cooler at the start. I think it was 50-degree water down here when we first started off. You know, ice biome and all that starting in. This unfortunately is raising the temperature here to about 200 degrees, but the industrial sauna seems to be handling it quite well. And then all that sends back up to the rocket, which has been renamed the 16 Chapel. After a suggestion from the comments, I really like the sound of that name. The 16 Chapel just sort of fits beautifully for the amount of duplicants we're planning on holding in here. Anyway, that's where the water comes from that has been slowly filling up that corner part over there. Now, there's a little bit of petroleum down there to make sure that the water gets pushed up and we can overpressurize the bejesus out of this, so it's crammed in a lot of water. We want to make sure there's enough water in here to last for about 2,000 cycles. Or wait, 2,000? Yeah, 2,000 cycles. Just because it's the arbitrary number we picked. That water gets sent up here, goes up to these electrolyzers. The electrolyzers split it into hydrogen and oxygen. The oxygen pops at the side and gets forced down here. The hydrogen gets forced at the top and we just vent into space. We don't care about the power. We have a nuclear reactor in here. We don't care about the hydrogen. It's just bye-bye. We don't need you. You're a waste product. All of that gets pumped around the rocket. We have these two pumps come down here, pump out that gas vent, and then feed into this string of bridges. This just means that if someone uses the front suit and brings it back, well, this entire line of oxygen tries to pump into the front suit. Also, the second line also tries to pump into the first suit, and then it goes to the second, third, fourth. This means, since you normally take the suits from the front and get them dropped off at the front, you normally end up with some annoyances like... Actually, let's check in our home base right now. No, all of them are good. Damn it. Yep. Never mind. But normally what will happen is if you're excessively using the Atmos suits, the front ones will get degraded first. So I would have, say, the first 10 Atmos suits on 1 kg line and the second 10 on another 1 kg line. And you'd invariably end up with the first 6 Atmosuit docks being empty and the last 10 being full, and it just caused problems. But this little beauty, which I stole off the Reddit, just allows you to compress and jump things in a lot easier. Anyway, that covers how the oxygen gets in. We have this rolling around a bit and finding the odd place to dump off some oxygen into a rocket just to pressurize everything. And that's oxygen production. Now down here we have the sauna. Now to make this sauna work, we have to fill it full of steam. So down here we have this gas pump, and let's turn it on. I stuck the switch down here because it's really hard to find a free space in this reactor, so I said down here seemed like a good idea. This starts pumping the steam in, the steam comes up and gets sent in here. Now, due to the previous problems we had, we don't let it sit in the pipes. Once this thing actually fills up with steam, it starts to overflow. That actually took a fair while. So you'll notice that the steam here is coming in at what temperature? It's about 234. By the time it gets set to the bottom, it's 230. The reason being, it's dropping off a little bit of temperature into those pipes, and if you leave it sitting there, it will cause problems. So instead, we just rotate it. Also, an idea we stole from the last rocket and comments and a whole bunch of suggestions. This way, it keeps rotating round and round, and once the whole pipe is full, this gas pump switches off. Not that we need to save the power, but it is just a nice, efficient, simple design that just works. Alright, then we've got a few other gas lines going about the place. We've got this gas pump over here. It is separated from this over here, which is our dining area. We don't want this gas pump causing any problems and losing us the room bonus, which we haven't actually got just yet, but we will in a minute. This pumps any carbon dioxide that ends up down here, or oxygen, anything at all. Just pumps it slowly over this direction, where it runs into this gas pump. And then the two of them are merged into a single line where it goes past this element sensor. If it detects oxygen, dumps it back into the capsule. If it detects it's not oxygen, it all gets shunted up here and dumped into this gas canister filler. The reason we do that is we need carbon dioxide for the soda fountain. So this fills up with carbon dioxide, then we dump it into the soda fountain, and any excess carbon dioxide or any excess gases get shunted up here and dumped into the background of space. We don't even need to use this output pipe down here. Makes things much simpler and smoother. And that covers most of the gases except for this one down here, which is, well, this is the gas pipe thermostat set to minus 64. It cools down this metal tile where we're going to store all our food. And done. Oh, which reminds me, we need to start filling this with shovels. So you, over here, eggs, please. We are going to get all the shovels on the map and dump them into this. We're going to allow manual use, and we're going to make that a priority 9. Errands, yeah, that's current errand from Lucy. Let's go down to our shovel farm. Our shovel storage location. Yeah, doors are open, and there are a few eggs in there. So all the eggs in there will get taken and dumped into the rocket. Now, we'll have to wait till everyone lays eggs, of course, and we might have to make a few changes, but I'd prefer not to. Let's just grab them all this way, and we can give it 100 cycles while we fill the rocket full of water and dismantle the rest of the map. Alright, so that should get the... Where is it? That should get all the shovel eggs in there. Once the shovel eggs are in, and we've got all the shovels migrated in here, what we can do is replace that with a conveyor loader. And then we'll use that conveyor loader to take all the barbecue or the meat that drops out and dump it up here to be turned into barbecue. Done. Problem solved. Yeah, there we go. Boom, 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 boom. All the tiles here are made out of obsidian, so the shovels can't dig through it, and you got pneumatic doors made of niobium on either side. Doesn't really matter what those doors are made of now. And finished. That covers most of the gases, and oh, there's some more conveyor lines going around here. Yes. This here is where we can manually inject more uranium without having to run a duplicant in there. So if we need any more uranium, we set this to allow manual use, dump in the uranium. And the barbecue gets loaded in here and sent across and dumped down here onto this icy tile to get frozen. Finished. All right. The hard part, though, is going to be the liquids. Oh, wow. Yeah. This slowly sort of got built up over time and it just got more and more complicated. I apologize. All right. This is your input line. This is all the water coming in from outside the rocket gets dumped into storage. That's perfectly fine. Then this is an output line from in here. This sends water up. Are we saving? Sorry, brief save. Output line here sends water up to the two electrolyzers. The electrolyzers are set to only come on if the pressure in here goes below 20 kilos. So we keep 20 kilos of oxygen pressure in here. If it's needed, the gas pumps turn on. Problem, these gas pumps can pull out 20 or well, they can pull out 2 kgs of oxygen a second. These things can only produce 1.6. If you leave these things running flat out, they could potentially drain all the oxygen out of here and cause problems when this thing starts up and turns off. It could be problematic. So instead, what we've done is limited these to only draw when there's more than 15 kgs of pressure. There's more than 15 kgs of pressure, these things turn on. These can just about keep up with these atmosuit docks, but they will be switching on and off. It's going to be a little bit of a delicate balance, but they should be fine. Now, rest of the liquids. There's a split off down here, and this comes to feed into the nuclear reactor. This only draws water if there's no water coming in from the steam turbines, which shouldn't happen anymore. It's just basically a safety feature just in case. We could technically sever that and be good. It's also how we primed the reactor and filled up the whole loop. Down here, you notice all of the steam output, or all the water that's coming here to feed these steam turbines, just dumped straight across here and dumped out. This is just to provide cooling and cool down the reactor. Normal type stuff. Top one. Okay, this is where things start to get slightly fancier. This comes across here. Output feeds into this to feed into the reactor. Any overflow gets sent down into the cooling area. And then, time to plug this sucker in. All right. This is, well, this thing here has got its output split 50-50. Half of the output from this goes up here to feed into the toilets. The other half goes into this. Was it the soda fountain? Now, I might have to make some changes here or change some priorities, but the plan would be this would feed into that, then it would feed into the toilets, and then any excess will come over here. Let's actually just let that fill for now. Right, system is full. Toilets, all backed up, they've got plenty of water. Soda fountain, all backed up, plenty of water. And this over here, this is leading to a shut-off switch. Yeah, this we learned from hard lessons in the last rocket. We're feeding the toilet water here. You see, anytime the duplicants use the toilet, the polluted water comes out here and gets dumped down and turned into steam. It gets fed onto this line, pumped across here, and dumped down to get turned into steam down here. So we're basically boiling the polluted water to turn it into steam, and that cleans it so that when it goes through the steam turbines again, we get clean water out. However, duplicants produce more water from the toilets than goes in. So this is a water positive process, and if we don't do something to relieve the pressure in here, eventually this will overpressurize and the reactor will explode. That is bad. So, to prevent that, we have some automation. Yay! Okay. This is not as bad as it looks. Okay, we'll start. Okay, we'll start with the water one first because that's the one I was going through. When we get too much steam pressure in here, what'll happen is this will go above about 1400 grams of pressure. When this goes above 1400 grams of pressure, this thing will decide, hey, we've got too much steam pressure in here, start siphoning water out. So it'll send a green signal up here. This green signal we won't worry about. That green signal will then activate this shutoff. That shutoff will tell, hey, just dump the water out of the system and put it into storage down here. It'll split its flow with anything coming in. So even if you're landed on a water planet and draining it dry, it'll still be able to force its way out. That way you sort of drain pressure out of the system. Done. Once the pressure drops below the required amount, it'll turn off again and boom, you've siphoned out the necessary amount of water. This other section over here is to do with when you turn on the reactor. You see, when you turn it off, the pressure in here sort of equalizes out everywhere because there's no movement of steam, there's nothing being siphoned out. So the pressure will rise everywhere, including down here, which means when you turn off the reactor, this thing will start trying to siphon water out of the system. When you turn on the reactor, it'll definitely siphon water out of the system. So this causes a big pause 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So it takes 2 whole cycles before this thing allows the green signal to pass through. Actually, let's do that now. We'll turn this off. And then we turn it on. So you see, 200 seconds. So it's going to take 2 cycles before this will allow any water to get siphoned out of the system, which means this will be on for a while. All the steam pressure will move around, and the pressure here will drop drastically as all of the steam gets pushed through, turned into water, and pumped back towards the center. And done. If you don't have that, the whole thing will, well, overload with water and overpressurize, or you'll start siphoning water when you shouldn't if you turn on and off the reactor. Yeah, easy peasy. Easy peasy. This down here is hooked up to the aquatuner. Aquatuner is hooked up to the temperature sensor, keeps all the water below, or keeps all the supercoolant passing through at 30 degrees. This supercoolant loop cools down both of the steam turbine sets, top and bottom. It also goes the whole way around the rocket. You can see it there in the golden pipes. And then it gets all the way back to here, and we've got a little bit of a storage tank to keep the temperatures nice and evened out. Keep things nice and cool. We shouldn't have any problems with temperature differentials. Okay, I think that's all the liquids, is it not? Yeah, oh, and we have a way to pump the nuclear waste out of here. Not that we'll ever need it with this build, but I thought it was important to have the option to pump the nuclear waste out if they land on a foreign planet and they want to, like, make themselves something to recharge the rocket engines. You know, they've got the option. I mean, they needed all the bells and whistles here. All right, now, we could have built all sorts of other stuff into this system, but I decided to go with entirely recreational buildings. We have a vertical wind tunnel. We've got your soda, which we've already pre-filled. We have the soda fountain, which we've already covered how that gets filled up. We then have the jukebox for dancing. We have the arcade cabinet. We have the beach chair. Only good during the daylight hours. If they try to use it during the nighttime, won't work so good, but hey, it is what it is. And then we also have the mechanical surfboard, which I have not filled with water yet because I am a bad human being. All right, give me a second to fill that up. The water has arrived. Liquid pump can kick in. We used a small liquid pump. It's not, I don't know how well it will keep up with the usage of the surfboard, but all it basically does is pumps water into the surfboard. We should have a decent stockpile of backflow on it. And we'll stick in, say, 400 kilos. We probably don't need 400 kilos, but I'm willing to take the risk. And done. Whole thing's full up. We've got a little bit of a backflow on the pipes. I did it snaking a bit just so we had a little bit of storage space. I probably could have went through the walls, but at the time I wasn't exactly sure where all our plumbing was going to go. And as you can see, it's just a ginormous mess. Kind of works, though, so, yeah, I'm going to call it a mild... Okay, not a success. A success sounds wrong. It's livable with. Livable with. I wouldn't say palatable, but just sort of, like, not horrific. Yeah. Okay, and do you want to plant some reed fiber over there? Yep, there we go. We even brought in some pips so we could plant a little bit of thimble reed. You can be moved over there, and we're going to try and plant some there. The whole thought of actually making an awful lot of thimble reed in here did appeal to me, or did... I didn't think of it, but I thought... Nah, there's too many of them. There's 16 atmosuits. The amount of thimble reed we'd need to plant, we wouldn't be able to have a whole jukebox in here, you know? That just seemed wrong. So we'll give them a nice big stockpile of reed fiber, and we'll just assume that they can, you know, build a greenhouse wherever they land, hopefully. For storage, we have a little bit of a small storage area down here. A couple of automatic dispensers. They're in a vacuum, so there'll be no heat transfer. And we'll leave all the stuff down here. Downside, all the duplicants when they come in will have to go down here through the liquid lock, down this side, then down in here. That's only if we open that door for them, so... Yeah, not great. Not great for the storage front, but realistically this is more for, well, long-distance travel. As well as that, yeah, they can kind of get in here, which would be bad, so we'd prefer if they didn't do that, and we wouldn't like them to stand there for too long, otherwise they'll get scalded. But, you know, worst-case scenario, we can, say, remove the exosuit forge and put in a medical facility. It's not perfect. However, what is great is this idea I stole from an email design that was sent in. Basically, liquid lock made of viscogel, and what the duplicants can do is they can stand on either side and pull the full food across. Or, well, they could if I didn't have this conveyor loader here, which at some point we will remove that, but someone can stand on the ladder segment there, remove the food without having to step through the liquid lock. Saves them from getting themselves wet while they're grabbing food. Handy. Alright, with that done, there is a few pieces I realize that I still have to... What happened there? Gas bridge blocked. Oh... No, that needs to go there. That needs to be removed. That gas pipe needs to go. And we need to put actually a radiant gas pipe would be fine. Like that. Yep, so that's where I messed up. See, there's gas staying in the pipe right there, and it is dropping temperature. My bad. Yeah, we can fix that hopefully really quickly. Actually, what's the radiation like in there? Like... semi-lethal. They'll probably be fine. I mean, walk it off. Only a little bit of minor radiation exposure. Everyone's fine. Problem fixed. Now there's just a couple of small little things. I should have this video out already. I think this is going to come out a day late. Sorry, in advance. Over here, we need to change this so that this resin can overflow the top of this and go down into the storage area. I mean, we can't not do that. Plus, there's a whole bunch of debris down here that needs to be removed. This is all the hot stuff that used to be down in this magma biome. So all of that debris has to be put into storage. That should be fairly quick. There's also this place here. It has a whole bunch of molten iron down the bottom of it. Yep, that's just molten iron. Given enough time, this whole place would flood with it. It might cause some problems when it hits the rocks there and causes them to flash to magma or whatever, but yeah, it's beautiful. And back on Firino, we actually have a bunch of debris down here that also needs to go in this section right here. This stuff also needs to be put into storage. That should also be a quick trip. So I say we get our 8 dupe rocket, we send them on their way, we get them to pick up those resources. While we're waiting, the 16 chapel gets to load up on water, which is vitally important for a long-standing mission. We get to do a little bit more uranium mining and refinement, which would be nice. I want to make sure everyone has about, 20 tons of enriched uranium. How do you only have 13.1 tons of enriched uranium? Where'd the rest of it go? You know what? I'll sort that out later. And we still have to strip mine this place. Yeah, you know what? I'll just sleep next week. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just, take a few dozen hours. We'll get rid of this. Before strip mining our home planet, I kind of decided to take care of those side projects. Firino, went back there, removed all the debris. There's like a little bit left, but I think it's like some solid CO2 that ended up there. It's so small that it can't actually be melted. But whatever. That was all collected. We also went to the Recon planet. We dismantled that wall, sealed it along the side, removed all the debris from here, and now there's like a big pool for that liquid resin to collect in. Should be fine. I mean, this tree has been stuffing its face for like hundreds of cycles now. In fact, how old is that mesh tile? Yeah, that mesh tile is 901 cycles old. So that thing's been stuffing its face for over 800 cycles and hasn't stopped. You think it'd get full at some point, but no. Alright, for here. This is it. This is all the mass that's left on the map. All the rest has been removed. And we have to make some hard choices. The thing is, I want to strip mine the area out and sort of, open this map up to the vacuum of space. Which means there's a few areas we're going to need to seal in and a few changes we need to make. For example, this liquid stuff over here, who cares? No problems. We can leave that stuff there. That's exposed to the vacuum of space, causes no issues. However, say something like these transformers, they were over here and things. I'm thinking we move them back here and we seal them in. We need to keep them in an atmosphere, otherwise they'll overheat. This place in here is fine. These machines out here, once we stop using them, the plan would be we're going to evacuate everyone. And we want to leave the place behind so that if someone did choose to spawn a duplicate out of that printing pod, they could survive and potentially expand back out into the universe. A very empty one, but they could theoretically find enough geysers and vents to keep going. So that needs to be protected. And effectively, we need to go around and find anything that can overheat, seal it into an atmospheric area, and then vent the rest of the map. But that's not going to be that hard. You see, down here, I already put these transformers into a steam room, so we just leave the steam room here. All the power transformers are sealed up nice and safe. No need to actually change anything on that front. But I need to take a little bit of time to proof up the place. Right, so first up, we're going to move all of these transformers that I had just chucked around here higgledy-piggledy, and we've tucked them in here. And what we've done is we put down a little viscogel blob, sort of blob airlock right there, so even though if all the gas over here is gone, this place will still be sealed in. And we're going to seal it in across the top with some igneous rock tiles all the way along, and then again, another blob on the other side. We need to have this hole here so that these animals can think they're in an open room, otherwise they'll get all cramped. If we seal it off, they're all going to be cramped animals. We would prefer them not to be that. And we've got the cooling loop going through here, meaning everything in here should stay cool. This, self-cooling, don't care. This, depreciated, we don't care. And you are going to end up trapped up there if you're not careful. Oops. Well, actually, we can open this up a little bit. We don't care if they get out in and out that way anymore. So we'll give you a free rein. We're also opening up a few new paths around the place. This, on the other hand, we need to cool down those steam turbines. Right now, they're being cooled by pipes like that. That is bad. Instead, what we want to do is conduction panels. This whole place is about to become a vacuum, so yeah, you need to go there. Oh, God, we're going to have to cut out all the salt water. Actually, that shouldn't be too hard to do. What we can do now is, actually, break that off there. Perfect. So, we can dismantle or empty a few of the pipes in here. And once the pipes are empty and we've reduced the pressure enough, we can just put in some conduction panels. Same with this one over here. Perfect. That should keep the steam turbine cool, even if we remove all the gases from around the surrounding area and remove all the mass. Done. Now, what else is left? Well, these farms are already vacuum sealed. They've got their blob lock, so we don't care. They'll be grand. This is good. Oh, down here. Yeah, this one's got to be changed. Yeah, we're going to have to put in conduction panels on these things. Same business again. Minor change in plan. We airlocked the whole section. We just stuck in another blob lock. Done. Problem solved. This whole area is sealed in with liquid lock, so we don't have to care. Over the other side, well, all this stuff is submerged, so we don't have to care. It's in a giant medium, so we don't have to worry about it overheating anytime soon. Down here, though, we do have this. I'm trying to even remember. What does this hook up to? Oh. Oh, the farms. Right. And it also... You know what? I say we move it over here. We already have this power wire through here, so... Yeah, give me a minute to just redo the power wiring for this section. It needs a few minor tweaks. There we go. We ripped out the transformer down there, rerouted the power through up here, and now that's all sealed inside this one area. This is sort of turning out to be our power distribution hub. Well, our top-level power distribution hub. Over here, what I'd like to do... Well, we're stuck with this sort of weird problem in that how do we get our dupes in and out without, well, vacuum out everywhere? So I figure... What we can do is seal in an area, like say in here, put in a bunch of transport hubs, and then like these transport tube accesses, and then make sure that the only way they can exit this place is through the transit hubs. We're going to need some space though, so time to start moving some liquid locks. This is going to be a bit messy, but I'd say we move the top one first, then we move the bottom one afterwards. It's late enough in the game, I figure we can be throwing around Visco Gel Goodo. It's just much easier to make liquid locks with, and that allows us to do dumb stuff like this, that allows us to quickly core out a nice area. And this will be our nicely spaced liquid lock that should be fairly robust. Oh, and at the same time, we can produce far more because we have 12.5 tons of isoresin. That stuff is normally super rare, but it turns out when you're feeding a tree constantly for a long, long time, you can just, you know, make huge quantities of it. What? Let's make another 10 there, and actually, you can make another 10 as well. It would be nice to have that stuff around the place. Damn it, wrong one. Just to make sure we don't run out of liquid locks anytime soon. Now we gotta clean up this mess somehow. I may have went on a tiny bit of a rampage of doing some upgrades. Very belated upgrades. This here is where everyone comes out. They have all of these transit tube access points to choose from. Then once they hop on there, if they want to get past this point here, this is an airlock. There is no oxygen allowed in or out. Well, no gases. Plastinium transit tube crossing, heavy watt joint plate, and a mechanized airlock that is locked. We're not letting anyone in or out. What is that doing there? Someone want to grab that delectable egg? That's supposed to be up in... yeah, thank you, kindly. Don't be leaving those things lying around the place. Then if we go down to the bottom here, same thing again. Plastinium transit tube crossing, heavy watt joint plate, and a mechanized airlock. Meaning this entire corridor, tip to top, is sealed. Which means it's attached to this sealed base. Which, well, okay, there's a little air gap here, but Visco Gel lock, sealed in across the top. Then down here, Visco Gel lock, Visco Gel lock, Visco Gel lock, which means this entire area is sealed in too. And this here is the, well, industrial sauna, so it's sealed in. So all of this stuff can be, we can vacuum out the rest of the map, it'll be fine. We did seal in this one as well. This is our polluted water storage. Put in a Visco Gel lock to make sure nothing can happen there. These are our water weed farms. They are also sealed in, but they're sealed in with a bead lock. That's been there for ages, so we don't have to worry about those. What else was there? This, all fine. We don't have to worry about that. That's in a vacuum, and it's, well, it was designed for a vacuum initially. This stuff down here, oh, we'll put that in there. That will seal that off, which means that should be fine in a vacuum as well. Then we got this one over here. Same thing again. It's sealed in. Should be fine in a vacuum. We're basically just vacuum proofing everything. This over here, it's grand. It's already in a vacuum. This stuff down here doesn't care. Oh, that's already sealed in a vacuum. Same over here. Pretty much, I think that's it. I think we can start demolishing the map. Took a little bit of effort here and there, but I think we have finally managed to proof ourselves. I'm sure I've forgotten something. There's always something you've forgotten, so I'm sure something will start overheating or breaking after we start. But that's what we're going to do. We're about to start. So, let's see how quickly we can turn this map into not a map anymore. 200 cycles later, and maybe a bit of unattended play, there was some minor complications. Yeah, an automation ribbon over here was made of lead and melted. I'm going to have to replace all that with copper or something, though it shouldn't be a problem in future because we've almost strained all the atmosphere out of the map. But this got mildly damaged. There's going to be some repair works, though we do have plenty of petroleum to back it up. Had a few power glitches during the night, but no one died. That's the important thing. And the base kept kind of functioning, roughly, except for this, because of the automation wire, which, yes, we can fix that just to make sure nothing happens when we do abandon this base. We want to make sure it will survive without us. But this is a good stress test. Now, give me, like, about an hour to clean up that poor petroleum boiler. That poor petroleum boiler. Well, we fixed the petroleum boiler. It's now functioning as normal. Once that automation wire went back in, it all started working again. Well, okay, and we cleaned out all the gunk that had backed up. And what actually happened was, automation wire got burned. That stopped the petroleum boilers from activating, which meant this all backed up with petroleum. Then the whole thing overflowed and it just backed up with crude oil. It was messy, but we fixed it. Then we finished vacuuming out the whole map, and now we're back to having gases in it because of two different problems. Okay, we've sealed off most of the areas. It was just, where is it? This guy right here. Now, it's not specifically their fault. It's their parent. Parents? Parent? Mother, father? I don't know. They whatever. They reproduce and they drop eggs. So anyway, the egg, their corpse dropped over here, their parents' corpse, and we couldn't get to it. So it turned into polluted dirt after it rotted, and then it started releasing polluted oxygen. But we have managed to solve that problem. Also, there was another one up here, so we're taking care of that preemptively as well. So that should hopefully get rid of them, which will get rid of the polluted oxygen that started spawning. There's not a lot of it, so we left all the gas pumps in, so that should all be gone soon enough. Then down here we've got chlorine gas. I figure this is from the water weeds. They require bleachstone, and I think someone tried to take bleachstone from here and move it in there and then dropped it, which then, of course, would get picked up shortly afterwards. Is there yeah, there's chlorine gas there. 1 second, we'll keep the sweeping going there. So I think what we'll do is we'll just dig these up. We don't need these anymore. We've got enough food and everyone's going to be leaving shortly, so bye-bye. Okay. And that's most of the map done. Let's actually have a quick look on the gas extraction. We have a gas pump down here. We have a gas pump over there. We've got another... Where is it? No, not that one. There'll be another gas pump here, another gas pump there. Oh, we got a gas pump over here. What I started doing was putting down... Initially, I just put down... Once we vacuumed out most of the map and we were down to grams, I just put down a gas reservoir and mini pumps everywhere and started filtering it out. And then later on, as those things started to fill up, we stuck in some gas piping to take it off the map. We then had massive complications with steam appearing randomly because liquids would fall out of pipes or freeze or something would happen, and then it would pour down here, touch this oil, boil back up. There was a lot of stuff. There was an awful lot of... It was really hard to get this place down to a vacuum. But we're almost done. We are so close to having this place just perfectly stripped, perfectly clean, and perfectly vacuumed. And that's nearly all the gas is gone again. It took a while, but you'll notice even down here, there's no gas pumps removing that. That's just a case of it's literally gone down to the point where there's so little left, the game starts automatically deleting it to save processing power or something. It's just disappearing into nothingness. And over here, same thing. I think we're just about ready to finally put the finishing touches on this base and leave it. That map is just looking beautifully barren. We just strip mined so much. There is so little left of anything. Let's see. There's some gases in here. Like if we bring up the gas overlay, there's a few gases in there. There's the volcano. There's some gases in there. This room in here is where we melt ice. So we do have a nice storage room, but I started trying to melt it and it takes forever. There's metal tiles here. They touch the salt water. It heats this area up, but the ice is still melting far too slowly for my liking. Any ice that does melt ends up down here, and we never mop it up. The reason being, I never ever want to transport polluted water ever again. Just say we do mop this up, a duplicant will pick up the bottles of polluted water and try and bring them over to here, which is our polluted water storage, also behind a visco gel lock. And if at any point they decide to take a nap or go to lunch, they'll drop the bottles, and then this entire place will be full of polluted oxygen again. So no, we're just going to leave the stuff there. We are done with it. Empty. No more empty. This place here. So this is our core base right here. This area is where all of our duplicants live. Right across here all the way around. And it's just sealed in at these 2 points. Oh, This was a mistake. I didn't need a liquid lock here. This was actually going to end up sealed in. It wasn't at the time, but it turns out we could get rid of that now. But yeah, we'll just leave it. I accidentally filled it full of a whole bunch of carbon dioxide, so letting that loose would give the duplicants popped eardrums, and I'm not bothered. Who cares? Also, massive, massive, massive overkill on the transit tubes. We have all of these here. And then that goes up here, drops off to this section, goes up here, drops everyone off all in those sections just for faster transport. Reason being is we move the rocket here. We'll get back to that one. We also have transport tubes here, down over here, down there, over here, more over there, and all the way down here. That was so we could take all of those resources and cram them into the rockets. This one got most of them. This is our builder rocket, the TARDIS bigger on the inside one. This here is the 16 Chapel. It's still at the top of the map, so this one was a little bit slower about picking up the resources. But yeah, we still have that mod installed, so let's see if we can't get a good view. That's how much resources they got there, and there's even more there. So this place is decently loaded. However, this place was much closer to the center of the map. Since we landed the rocket right here, this one got the majority of all the resources dropped off to it. And we had to let it run a long time. Like, oh wow. Let's just start on the smaller piles, shall we? So this one here is where we put all the polluted dirt, polluted mud, stuff that could, off gas or maybe cause problems. Then over here is where we've got the slightly smaller pile. And so the slightly smaller pile has this much resources in it, and the mod shows most of it. And it does actually lag when I hover over it. This one causes a little bit of a chunking sound when I put my mouse over it. The game does not like that at all. As far as I can tell, we have basically... it should be a black hole right now. There's so much mass there in such a small area that should have formed a black hole, at least a small one. That is just way too much stuff. But this rocket will still launch, so yeah, we should get on that. Oh, also remove the floor here so that duplicants could more easily come in here, hop across the top and dump off their resources. Otherwise, they had to drop it all along here. Not before I had replaced all of this, though, with plastinium. The plastium? The stuff that doesn't melt at low temperatures. The stuff that melts at, was it 1800 degrees? Yeah. Namely because there was so much hot rocks around the map that they were dropping hot rocks here, and before we've had problems with hot rocks melting the plastic and turning it into naphtha. So I thought I'd replace that with plastinium, and instead it was easier to rip this out. That was probably what I should have done first. Which reminds me, we gotta finish that up again. Perfect! Now we have that all restored. Unfortunately, we've... This is the Great Hall. This used to be a nature reserve, but it's no longer a nature reserve because there's a high-pressure gas vent. High-pressure gas vents were not initially considered machinery or machinery stuff which interferes with rooms, but it was in the last patch. So we used to have the high-pressure gas vent down here, but I moved it up to get rid of the nature reserve so we could keep the actual Great Hall bonus. I figured the Great Hall bonus was better. It's not really the end of the world anyway. This place, they all have great morale. And they're perfectly configured so that they don't have to have too much morale to keep all of their skills. This is the builder rocket, so they'll be fine about the nature reserve. I could reconfigure all of this, but no. Nope. It's good enough. All right. 16 Chapel, though. We turned off the reactor on this for a while just to save on uranium, but we can turn that back on again, and I can show you why we put in all of these things along here. You see the gas pressure is even out, and now down here it's 42 kilos of gas pressure. Once it hits 1.4, it's supposed to turn on, which it currently is, and siphon water out of the system. That would be bad right now. So we're going to turn this on. Uranium gets fed in. System starts winding up. Oh, actually, let's make sure I didn't sever any water pipes. I plugged out the water. The reason being, if you leave the water plugged in, the water stays in the pipes and will eventually break the pipes. We've already had to come in here and replace those. Perfect. There you go. You got some water in there. You'll be fine. Yeah, it's grand. Alright. Now, let's let this spin up for a second. Yeah, we'll still be in plenty of time. Now, just remember, this here used to be at 40 kilos of pressure. Once this is spinning up for a while and the steam turbines are moving, that should drop rapidly. Oh, and I do have to connect these up as well. You need to be connected, and how about you? Yes, I had severed a couple of pipes. I keep forgetting. You have to, when you turn these off, you have to sever this pipe here and sever this pipe here. You want to keep the steam turbines from running out of steam pressure, so there should at least be, it should have been 150 degrees realistically, but we messed up. Anyway, as long as you keep it hot enough, that means that the water will start flowing again immediately, because you want those steam turbines to start shoving water in here. I also made one other change, and that was for this thing over here, the soda fountain. I looked up the numbers of this. This thing takes 5 kilos of water per use. If we were taking that out of the reactor, we'd actually be draining more water than the toilets are putting in. So I started running the soda fountain off this water pump over here after our main water supply. So that actually comes around here and gets it from there. We'll have to get rid of a few pipes down here, but by and large, this will be drawing water from there, and it's only the toilets that draw water out of the system. And how's our automation looking? Slowly but surely rising up, and how's the pressure here? Dropping, and dropping some more. Would you look at that? We're only halfway through, and already the pressure here has dropped below what's necessary. This is just to make sure we don't siphon water out on reactor startup, which realistically you shouldn't have to do very often, but... Actually, no. Theoretically, you shouldn't have to do very often. Realistically, you end up turning things on and off all the time. Alright, rocket's done. All we gotta do now is load them up on the food and get out of here. Actually, I've got one or two minor things to do, but I'm gonna grab some barbecue and start loading up. Spread out the barbecue between the two ships so they've got enough apiece. One of the last things we need to do before we go is rename Nicola. I have to give them a patron name because, well, they were the last one in. So, Phobos, welcome to the team. I know it is incredibly belated, but you are now a member. Alright. Once Phobos goes to sleep here, we can get on with the next bit. Phobos? Phobos has just gone to sleep. Perfect. Okay, everyone, quick, crew up. Crew and crew. I need you all crewed up immediately. Everyone, go. Quick, before they wake up. Where are you going? What? Okay, you're heading at that direction. It's fine. Okay, perfect. Everyone's got Atmos suits. Yep. Go. Doors are open. Yeah. Exit. Why is that there? You know what? Doesn't matter. So long as everyone can still get into the rocket. When destination is set. All crew are not boarded. We're still waiting on a few over there. We're looking over there. All crew not boarded. What are they doing? Still sleeping? Perfect. Okay, you done? Launch checklist incomplete. What are we missing? Destination set. Okay. Change. We want to get you to... Yeah, we'll put you there for now. You over here, how are you doing? Okay, you're definitely not finished. We'll change you to... Yep, you can go over there too. Come on. Everyone, moving, and I think we are full. Perfect. All crew boarded? No, we're missing someone. Where's the last one? What's taking you people so long? Alright, are you ready? Yeah. Nope. They're still asleep. That's fine. Found them. It's Alexander. Alright, Alexander, I need you to move, buddy. Move. There you go. You're almost in. Nothing like having a good transit tube network. And load it in. Exit. What's wrong? Unreachable storage module? Who cares? You don't even need any modules. Alright, we will begin the launch sequence for you. How are you looking? You are perfect as well. Yeah, unreachable storage module. Well, that's fine. Begin a launch sequence for you. Phobos, still blissfully unaware. Excellent. Okay, I think we successfully managed to escape. Alright, this year we sealed this in on the side to stop any gases leaking in because this place is a vacuum. A little bit will get in here, but we don't care. Go on. You're good. Are you launching? Why aren't you going? You should be taking off already. Move it. Do we not have a rocket pilot in here? Oh, no, there they go. Alright, off you go. Ooh, they almost lined up perfectly. And... still fast asleep. Okay, perfect. Right, the thing was, we have to leave one duplicate behind. Well, okay, technically we didn't have to leave one duplicate behind, but I wanted to leave one behind just to maintain the place and keep it going. So the reason Phobos drew the short straw is, well, they were the last duplicant in. So, you know, last in, last left behind. Everyone else has about 60 to 70 points of skill. You'll notice there, they just got skill points everywhere. Phobos is down at 23. Yeah, they had a bit, they're kind of newish. In fact, we're going to need to scrub them so they can survive once everyone's gone. Don't worry, I left them a phone, so we'll call them when we're en route, and we'll let them know what's happening. Yeah, give me a second. Our wonderful teams are on the way to the temporal tear, and we have successfully strip mined the universe. Now, getting them through the tear is going to be another problem. It seems the game sort of self-destructs your rocket, so the duplicant disappears to the temporal tear, but the rocket sort of self-destructs, which means, I mean, theoretically, that just means the pawn's dying, right? But no, we can sort that. We might have to do a little mass deletion or something to make sure that it doesn't crash the game when we do it. Though actually, no, first let's crash the game. Phobos here is just about finished for their reskilling. The reason being, they're the only one left, so they gotta do everything. Right, Phobos, again, sorry about abandoning you here, but we had to leave someone behind. I mean, we weren't gonna let them know beforehand. They might, you know, panic just a wee bit. So you're going to need to be able to cook. So grilling is going to be necessary. You're also going to be able to need to be able to do critter ranching because otherwise the critters won't get ranched. Oh, and you're going to need the exosuit training. So yep, you're going to have to get all that. Improved carrying would probably be helpful. Don't think you're going to need to do any mechatronic stuff. I think you're fine on that. Health, well, let's just hope you don't get injured. No plumbing. Yeah, I think that will do for now. If you need any more stuff, we can sort that out. Right, and what should we give you as a hat? Unfortunately, there's nothing that says pain or sorrow, so we'll just go with that. Nice orange one. You'll be good. Perfect. Then just let them get on with their day. I wonder have they figured it out yet. Oh, someone's ringing. Do you want to pick up the phone? Ooh, you'll find out later, buddy. You'll find out later. I think... yeah, he's just about to find out the good news. Good news is you're getting a promotion. Yeah, you're getting a whole bunch of new jobs and responsibilities. You've been so good at stuff. Bad news, it'll be a little bit more lonely about the place, but you'll be fine. Also, we left you access to the Hermit Hut, the Gravitas shipping container Hermit Hut. That guy lived in there for like 2,000 cycles. You'll be grand. We also left you so much food, you don't even need to do any cooking anymore. Just make sure to harvest the meat from him around the map. We don't want any of that rotting and going off. Should be able to take care of this place, no problem. Everyone else is going to be grand. Out on the map, people are coming up on the temporal tear. See how the 16 chapel is going. Everyone seems pretty good. Why are you still wearing your suit? Oops. We can unequip that. Anyone else still wearing their suit? You? Yeah, Alexander. Sorry. There you go. You guys will be fine. Whew. Oh yeah, but there is... I made sure there was a party line on this rocket, and I also made sure there was a party line on the other rocket. We ripped out an old water tank just to stick it in. That way they can all talk to each other. So home base and the two rockets on their way. Oh, and they're taking the uranium we dumped on board, and they're now loading it into the reactors. So each one of these should have about 2 tons, like over 2 tons of... Yep, 20 tons? All right, come on. It's 18.5. There will be over 20 tons of enriched uranium there when we're finished, and there will be over 20 tons of enriched uranium there when we're finished. Reason being, we want these things to be able to survive 2,000 cycles. Also, calorie-wise, more than enough calories for them to last 2,000 cycles. Oh, and here's the duplicants coming down, picking the resources up and going back up again. And why is that unbreathable? Huh. The gas pressure doesn't really get down here so good, does it? What's back there? No, there is a pixel pack back there. So nothing should be getting lost to the background. It's the same there. Huh. Just seems like there is very poor gas flow in this corner of the map. Doesn't make a difference anyway. That carbon dioxide is getting sucked up, and that is getting shuffled all the way over here. Perfect. That's going into this, and that's getting fed into the soda fountain outside of recreation room. Access not restricted. Yeah, whatever. They can, so long as they can still use it, we don't care. And use it they can. Perfection. Who's getting starvation? How? That shouldn't be possible. There's like... Oh, damn it. I forgot to set this to 1 kilo. Barbecue. Wait, no. Not barbecue. Frostburger. Only the Frostburger. Excellent. Everyone grab their food now. Yeah, that was my bad. My bad. You have to set that up at the start. Ooh, okay. Who's still starving? Nope, they're all good. And a little bit of flooding back at the base. Yeah, grand. We don't have to worry about this place anymore. This place should be able to take care of itself, along with the help of Phobo over there. Phobo? Whatever. First up, to the temporal tear is the 16 chapel. Despite being a bigger rocket, I suppose it's not weighed down by nearly as much mass. What happens if we try to send that through the temporal tear? Now, this one has far less mass in it than the other one. So this one has a lot less stuff down here in terms of junk, and a lot less liquid in here in terms of nuclear waste. Maybe about the same amount in water. Ooh, well, I suppose now's the time to find out. Please enter the temporal tear if you wouldn't mind. Okay, let's see what the game decides to do. Okay, we'll give this like 30 minutes and see if it works. Okay. That looks interesting. My understanding of it is 200 kilos gets jammed into one of those transport pods and flung out in every direction. But you gotta remember, it's 200 kilos of everything, including the liquids. There is an ocean in there, pretty much, of water. Ooh. Alright, let's let this go for a while and see where it takes us. Wow, I didn't think that'd work. Alert, imperative achieved, the great escape. Hit proceed. I would. Ooh, that seems like it's chugging. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, it's trying to go through all the colonies we've got, which are going to be dramatically empty, except for the tree that's stuffing its face. Why are you showing? Oh, we've got 3 gates here. Oh my god. I would love to put 50 gates on a planet just to see the game freak out over that. We did not put gates on every planet, though. Bye-bye, buddy. They're off on their 5-year mission. Well, yeah, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new... So I've picked 2,000 cycles because there's 1,800 days in a year, or 1,800 days in 5 years, so I figured it kind of worked out. Call it adventure. Yeah, whatever. I suppose technically if it's a temporal tear, they could end up anywhere. The Great Escape. Well, that's wonderful. Now let's see what the star map shows us. How's the star map looking? Oh. Star map's fine. Can't move it. You know what? Let's just stay here for a bit, unpause it. Yeah, let's just stay here for a bit and see how the map works out when we go back in. Okay, let's see now. Yeah, that still looks like a weird graphical glitch. We might want to give that another minute or 3. So long as we don't look at the star map, everything seems fine. So all that stuff is headed to Snowina, so this place is about to get smashed with a whole bunch of transport pods. Oh. Yeah, by the way, that's all molten iron down there. I think it touched some tiles we left behind, which flashed that to steam, or, well, whatever the rock steam equivalent is. Kind of melted all the ladders. There used to be ladders that came down here. They're all gone now. I presume the heat just kind of murdered them all. Oh well, it is what it is. Now let's go back to the star map and make the game... Listen to the game do a little bit of crying. Wow, that is the coolest graphical glitch. The plan is simple. We're going to wait at Snowina, where all of those transport little thingies are headed, and we're going to see what it looks like when they all land. I have a strange feeling the second rocket is just going to straight up crash the game, though. There's just so much more mass in that one. Well, that was far less painful than I thought it was going to be. My computer was able to handle it. I didn't have to speed it up or slow it down. It came in as expected. Oh, they're going to bounce. Yeah, this could take a little bit of time. The reason they have to bounce is, well, it's one of the animations, so it's got to activate the animation for every single one of them almost simultaneously. That's got to be taxing. Never mind. This has crashed out the game. Though, I think, a potential solution. This might take me a minute. With the application of a mod, we have managed to decrease the mass of the rockets, hopefully to a point where it won't cause any issues when they go through the temporal tear. We've already managed to completely get rid of one rocket. We'll get rid of the second one as well. They're off on their 5-year mission to explore... Actually, it's a temporal tear, so I suppose it's not actually strange new worlds. It might just actually be the same worlds. Okay. To seek out new... Actually, no, could be the same... In fact, they could even run into themselves if it's a temporal tear. They could actually go back in time and meet themselves, or meet themselves in a parallel timeline. So, to seek out... There's a non-zero chance of new life and new civilizations. Yeah, and boldly go where duplicants... Okay, a non-zero chance of duplicants have never gone before. Alright then. And yeah, let's just go through the temporal tear. And... Perfect! We managed to reduce the mass enough that it didn't crash the game. Wonderful! And so ends our wonderful casual playthrough, which somehow at some point stopped being nearly as casual as I wanted it to be. As I meant it to be. I suppose it technically was casual. We didn't really have any strenuous goals in mind. It was just, it took a long time to get all of that mass onto the rocket. The amount of transport that had to go on was kind of ridiculous. Oh, and yeah, poor Phobos here, their job right now is to basically make sure they collect all the meat from around the map to make sure it doesn't rot. That's their main goal. There's plenty of food for them. We got 35 million calories. If they want Frostburgers, they have 23 million calories of this stuff. I like to think that our other duplicants are off there in another universe having a good time. The rockets we spent ages building that just sort of disappear when we send them through the tear. Totally pointless, but I regret nothing. Okay, wait, no, I kind of regret the amount of time it took to get it done. This is, yeah, many days late. Apologies for that. But in my defense, it just took so long. And I just wanted to do it right. I wanted to make sure that the entire maps have been stripped clean. There's nothing left. This map is Actually, let's look over here. We have some brackwax, and I forgot to take the isoresin. But by and large, we have no enriched uranium. We're down to 67 tons of igneous rock, which is... Oh, got dropped here. There's a few places where I forgot things, which happens, I suppose. What do we got? Yeah, there's like the odd blob lying around the place. How do we have 67? Oh, yeah. It's these storage bins for the stone hatches. That's why we have 60 tons of that. But most of the stuff is gone. Even the plastic-wise, we had several hundred tons of the stuff. Now we're down to 3.3 tons, and it's turned off. Oil-wise, this should keep going, assuming the duplicant... Nope. That's going to overpressurize, which means... Yeah, they'll run out of oil in a few hundred years. Who cares? They'll be grand. They'll be able to survive for as long as needs be. I'll put up the save, so if anyone wants to try and revive the bases, I'm not sure you'd really need to revive them, though. It's more a case of you have so little mass left to work with, you'd have to run entirely off the geysers and vents and whatever stuff you find lying around the place. And don't get me wrong, there is plenty of metals lying around the place and things like that, but there's no igneous, no extra rocks that are going to be coming in or anything like that. Most of the places are just stripped bare. So what have we learned from this playthrough? Nothing much, I suppose. maybe when you relax the rules a bit too much, things get a little bit too crazy. Like this here. Like, this was one of the first things we did, was we just built subterranean solar for the fun of it. That was probably not our smartest idea, but that's been providing power for a long time now. I think it's fine. It's fine. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go sleep for about 16 hours, because I am starting to get to that point where you feel a little bit weird and like your brain's a few feet to the right of your head. And why is that covered? Oh, yeah. The nuclear fallout from this has not dissipated yet. But it's fine. It's fine. We've managed to keep the place a vacuum for at least a few cycles. I'm going to call that a success and cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed this stupidity, and good luck.